to him about, Mr. Vipin Anand, the MD of LIC. Given, of course, that we have 30 more days granted to clear the LIC premium, they've relaxed that premium payment deadline, and also to talk about further impact as well. Mr. Anand, great to have you with us. Good morning. Now, given that March is usually one of the best months in terms of collections and policies sold, how are things looking this time around? And, have you been hit significantly on the back of the lockdown?
These are extraordinary times. I think this is something like which we have never faced earlier. And definitely the premiums have been hit, whether it is new business, whether it is renewal collection. But one advantage we have is that we ran very speedily throughout the year. So we have been able to substantially achieve whatever targets we were planning to achieve during the year. Of course, there will be a loss in the business of the last 10 days. There is no gainsaying that. But I think overall the performance of the corporation is going to be very good.
Sure. How much extra time, Mr. Anand, have you given to the policyholders, and are there any more measures that you're looking to take as well in terms of relaxing norms, any other relief?
There are two kinds of customers involved. First is people whose premium was already due, but whose policies were within the grace period. Let us say people whose premium was due maybe up to 28th of February. And whose grace period would be up to 28th of March. But to these people, we have given a relaxation that up to 15th of April, they can deposit their premiums. And for people whose premium became due in the month of March, they have been given 1 month extra. So their grace period would normally be expiring sometime in the month of April. They will get 1 month more. Besides this, the government has also given a relaxation in income tax that if they pay the premium now before June, they will be able to claim the income tax rebate in the previous financial year.
What's your exposure as well to ULIPs? And given the kind of volatility we've seen in the markets, what's the kind of impact, that you had on the back of that as well on this particular segment? Do you also see yourself trimming exposure on this front going ahead? What's the outlook?
Fortunately, our exposure to ULIPs at this point of time was very little. So I don't think our customers will be hit much. We introduced two new ULIP policies in the month of March. One is a single premium policy, which is Nivesh Plus, and the other is LIC's C, that is SIIP, which gives an option of investment and insurance both. Both these policies were introduced in March only, so not much was sold. And I think it is going to work to the advantage of the people who buy these plans now, that they will be able to get better prices and more units of allotment at the initial stage.
Now, there are early reports that the regulator is really looking at relaxing solvency norms for insurers. What is the update on that front?
No, so far, nothing concrete has come up about this. And I think unless we are able to really examine the total impact of the situation, I'm not sure anybody will be able to assess what kind of relaxation may be required.
So how would you say is the current liquidity situation of LIC in terms of your total net investments? Are you a buyer in equities? Are you supporting the market? Do you think the market levels currently or the valuations currently are a good entry point for a long-term investor like LIC?
You see, one of the biggest advantages which LIC has with having more than 33 lakh crores of assets at this point of time is a huge amount of liquidity which comes through renewal premiums as well as maturity of some of the investments which are there. Because of which, even during this difficult time, we have been able to pay out huge amounts of money to our policyholders and ensure that all our liabilities were discharged when in time. In fact, I would like to tell you that one single group insurance customer, we paid about almost 5,000 crore rupees in the last week of March. In spite of that, we are net buyer in the market even in the last 10 days. And on a daily basis, almost we are investing because however it may be, it is still an opportunity. So when shares are available at good valuations, we are trying to see whatever best we can pick up in today's market.
Has the current volatility and weakness in the markets raised concerns as well for the IPO? What are you thinking, in terms of timelines on that front? Is the process going to get delayed? What's the sense?
I think ultimately, if this blows up fast enough, and it will depend on finally what kind of financials come up. But right now, I don't see any reason for a major shift in the agenda. It is in any case a time-consuming thing which is going to be there, and it will entirely depend on when we start operating full time. If it happens soon enough, which we hope will happen, then I think it may not impact. But if it goes on for a long time, then nobody can say anything.
Reinsurers, Mr. Anand, are looking to hike rates. Do you think that's going to have an impact as well on growth? It's going to hamper growth. Do you also see perhaps some moratorium on this front?
This is something which happened before the lockdown itself. This is something which has been in the pipeline even before the coronavirus problem came up, and the reinsurers had hinted. So as a result of this, we explored the market and we were able to strike a deal whereby our rates will not change. So I would like to reassure LIC's customers, whether they are offline or online term customers, that LIC's premium rates are not going to change because of the reinsurance issues. However, where people have been sort of competing very heavily on the premium rates, those companies are likely to have some trouble on this count. But LIC doesn't have any worries because our reinsurance treaty is in place ensuring that our reinsurance rates are not going to change because of these circumstances.
What's the impact as well in relation of your business with falling interest rates? If you could run us through that, how's your investment portfolio fared as well at this time?
You see, with the way the interest rates are going down, it is something which is a universal phenomenon. And in fact, I would like to say that interest rates have possibly gone down less in India compared to other economies of our size. And we are also hoping that the impact of coronavirus on Indian economy is possibly going to be less than what has happened worldwide due to the proactive steps taken by the government. And ultimately, when we are operating in the market, the customer looks at what is the comparison with the other products available. If the interest rate falls everywhere, and if LIC's rates also fall, I think competitively we are at the same place. In fact, right now, if you look at it, our Jeevan Shanti policy, which is one of our largest premium bringers, we are paying about 5.9% currently, which I think is a very competitive rate available in the market. And even in this point of time, this is a product which is available online. Then Pradhan Mantri Vaya Vandana Yojana, which was available up to 31st of March, that was also during this lockdown. It sold like hotcakes online. So I think that on business count, whether it is now or whether it is at any point in the future, we should not have any more problems. Ultimately, it is the comparative rates which count as far as customers' decision making is concerned, and that relationship between different products available in the market is going to continue.
Now, protection is the growth area because of what's happening in the world right now. So how are you ensuring at this point in time your protection business grows and it remains intact?
You see, there is always a lot of talk about protection products. But if you really look at the numbers, they are not so great, whether it is for us, whether it is even for the private sector, which has been very aggressively pursuing it. The reason being that there is a basic Indian psyche that you want value for money, and if nothing is coming back, you hesitate in putting money anywhere. That is something which has always been a stumbling block where protection products are concerned in the Indian market. But like I said earlier, our premium rates in protection products are not going to change. So I definitely feel that we are going to become more competitive as far as online term assurance especially is concerned. Another area where this is happening on a very large scale is the group insurance business. And during this period, I think there are a lot of queries coming about large group insurance schemes on the protection front. And I think this has only helped in creating greater awareness among the individuals as well as the employers and the government that there is a need for everybody to have a protection cover, whether it is through individual methods or whether it is through a group cover. And I hope that in the future this market will grow and LIC will again be having a larger share in this market.
Right, Mr. Anand, appreciate your time and thank you for joining us.